Hey guys, I'm Eugene Bach, and I want to give you a very simple introduction to Dingdash. Dingdash is a social media program that we have created mainly for people that live in closed countries like China, North Korea, uh, Iran, where there are a lot of people that would like to share messages, things of encouragement, but they simply can't get onto traditional social media outlets. But we've also seen that many people from around the world that can access social media outlets like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc., are finding that a lot of the things that they think and say are just not acceptable in those forums, especially as it relates to their Christian beliefs. And there have been people that have written even Bible scriptures and had their accounts canceled. There has also been a growing number of people that are concerned about security, and they don't want their information shared with the government or sold to corporations. And that's why we started Dingdash. Now, today is just going to be very, very short and simple to show you how to use Dingdash and get around. Because, I mean, for people like me, I don't like changing to new platforms. Once I learn something, I just kind of want to go with it. And trust me, I would have stayed with Facebook and Twitter and YouTube forever. But because of their selling of information, sharing of information, because of their growing um, restrictions, especially on religious speech and religious thought, we felt that Dingdash provides an opportunity for Christians to be more free and open with one another without that feeling of having Big Brother watch them or looking over their shoulder. Now, in order to get onto Dingdash and create an account, I'm going to first open up the Tor browser. So my browser might look a little bit different than yours, but basically the Tor browser is a browser that I use a lot. Their go-to search engine is DuckDuckGo. It's not Google. And because of these massive corporations taking your information, monitoring all of your conversations, your messages, your purchasing habits, I just haven't felt that comfortable with that, especially with the growing influence of China and a lot of my work being in China. So I use Tor because I feel that Tor is a lot safer. So here in the address bar, I'm just going to put in dingdash.com. And I'm living in a very rural area, so you'll notice that my browser is probably a little bit slower than yours, but that might actually be good for our purposes. Here we have the basic website that you land on if you put in dingdash.com. So if you put in dingdash.com and you don't see this, you're probably in the wrong place. This is the button here that you use for signing up for the very first time. And this tells you a little bit about who we are, how we feel about privacy, how we feel about your right to disappear. You don't always have that with other social media platforms. If you decide to delete your account, other social media platforms can actually retain your information and save it for later purposes. We believe very strongly that you have the right to live free or die trying. And we wanted to create an environment as well as a platform where you feel free to speak your mind about whatever it is that you want to share. We believe that truth is only able to be attained in an environment where people freely question one another. And we want to be able to connect people from everywhere. That means not just Western nations that have traditionally been using social media platforms, but also nations where social media platforms have been shut down. We want to connect with those people. And that's why we created Dingdash. So this front page here kind of gives you an idea of who we are and where we are coming from. If you see our logo right up here, this our logo will tell you why we call it Dingdash. Dingdash is actually named after the Morse code system of dings and dashes. It was very important during the World War II when ships at sea would send messages to one another while in enemy waters. And they would send information back and forth using a series of dings and dashes to communicate information. That's a concept that we also use as Christians in closed countries, where we are sending information back and forth to one another in areas that are a little hostile. Now, this ding dash specifically is Morse code for Jesus. So, a little bit of trivia there for you. I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in. But if you don't have an account, you go to sign up. You're going to see my email address here, and now you will know about how many letters I have in my password. If I get it right on the first time, I did not get it right. I always have so many passwords, so I don't always guess the right one the first time. So if you actually knew what I was writing there, you might write down the wrong password. Yeah, that was my goal all along. So this is what the outlay looks like. This is your home page for dingdash.com, and you can see here that we have a few people that have already posted, and you got the home button that basically is what you have posted and several friends of yours have posted as well. Notifications are exactly that. So anybody that is writing to you, has liked your status, or is asking you a question or commented on your posting, it will show up here in notifications. Timeline is where the magic happens. This is where you come together with your friends in almost like a marketplace and communicate. This is where you can follow the timelines of all of your friends and people that you're following. Whereas Federated is more of a generated timeline, including people maybe that you're not even following. So that's kind of the landing page. You also have a search up here. So if I wanted to search for someone, for instance, like one of our main people that are a volunteer that has written a lot of the code, Eric, if I look him up, I can find at least one person here. This is actually him, Eric G. I'm going to be telling you how to find people. It's not necessarily by name, though that is one way. The major way to find people, by far the best way, is by hashtags. So that makes the system a little bit different, that you search people based on subjects, and subjects are noted by hashtag tags. And I'll get into that in a minute. But right now, just the very simple stuff. Here you can push follow or unfollow. So I can choose to follow Eric. I can choose to mention him. I can direct a message him. If I mention him, you can see that his handle name comes up already in my posting before I publish it with the ding. So the ding is the publishing button for any post that I make. So if I'm going to write to Eric and just let him know, hey brother, I am making our tutorial video now. You will see it soon on YouTube. And just to let him know, I'm going to let him know, hey, we are actually recording this live now. And maybe I just want to put in a little emoji. The emojis are pretty similar to whatever you might be used to already. And I'll just put in a little smiley face, kind of feel like Bob Ross, just a little happy tree over here. And anytime I want to add anything, so let's say I want to add a picture to this post, I just push on the little clip. I'll choose one of my screenshots here. I'll add that, and you'll notice that I have a couple of things here. This, of course, is to add media. If this media was sensitive, if it had graphics in it that I didn't want people to see, I could mark it as sensitive. If, for instance, I can see that he has children, and so if I felt that his children may not want to, or he may not want his children to see this, they're looking over his shoulder, sitting in his lap when he's browsing, ding dash, then I can mark it as sensitive. I have a couple other options as well. So right here with the little globe that you see, I can click on that and manipulate my privacy status. So I'm going to keep it at public, but if I wanted to make it more private, I can go to unlisted. I can go down to followers, that makes it even more private, or I can make this a direct message where it will only show up in his mailbox for Ding Dash and nobody else will see it. But we're going to keep it private. You can see that if you do change the privacy status, the icon will change along with it. Now we also have this CW, and the CW is a caution warning. So if I put in the caution warning would be mark it as sensitive. I'm not going to mark it as sensitive. I'm not going to put in a caution warning. But caution warnings are, let's say that I'm sharing a violent photo. There are times where I do reports from Nigeria. And my friend from Nigeria sends me in photos that can be very graphic and disturbing for people that may not want to see that on their feed, especially if they're having breakfast in the morning with their kids. So I would mark that as sensitive and have a caution warning on there. Now there is a limit to the number of words that I can use. So every character that I type in, you can see down here there is a digit count. 363 is what I have left. If I type more than that, it will not send through that message. So there is a limit. And then I just publish my ding by hitting this button, ding. And now that will go up on the main feed where we can see, my friend Messenger of Christ on there. And so we can follow along. Now, if I want to change my profile, I know a lot of people write in, especially when they're first navigating, because it's so different, right? I mean, this is a different platform. So if you want to edit your profile, it's very simple, just right here. Now, keep in mind that it is going to be different for those that are using Ding Dash on your mobile phone. And it's going to be different depending on the mobile phone that you have. So if you're using an Apple system, if you are using an Android system, or like me, if you're using your internet browser. I often use my internet browser just because I find it a little bit more hassle-free to not worry about updating all these different apps all the time. So if I want to change my profile pic, I just go here to edit profile. You get this nice little bar right here. This is my profile picture, and this right here is my header. So if I was to go to my main page, for instance, you would see, I'll just click on my own handle. You can see here what my profile pic looks like, or if you go to my main page. And this, I can either edit my profile by clicking this button, or I can edit my profile by clicking this button here. If I enter edit my profile, it automatically allows me to have the ability to change my display name. I can also write my bio. I have been living and working in, let's go back. I have been living and causing trouble in China for more than 20 years. I think that's pretty appropriate. And then if I want to change my header, which is this picture right here, bam, just click browse, and it gives me my options. I'm going to cancel that because I like the picture that was just taken in June. This is snow in this area where I'm at right now in June. We still have snow. It's almost the middle of July. And then this same thing for my avatar. Now we call it an avatar, but that's your profile pic. Avatar is the simulated you for Ding Dash. Now I can choose many different things for my account, like lock this account. I can also choose different items that I would like to have up on my display. Just click on those, select the files from my hard drive and move it over. Once I've made my changes, obviously click Save Changes, and it should get this message right here, saved successfully. That is kind of in a nutshell. Now this is really important. This next part is super important because this is how we navigate in Dingdash. It's all about hashtags. So for those of you that are coming from Twitter, this is going to be very familiar to you because hashtags is how we, now you can see I've already got a few things in hashtag that anybody that did searches would find those: China, house church, persecution, Iran, Iraq, North Korea, etc. If I want to add more, so for instance, if I want to put in hashtag, anybody that would put in hashtag Pakistan, I would probably see them. I can add new, and then once I add that new, then it's added to my hashtag list. Now, anybody that does a search for people that have a shared interest in similar subjects like China, house church, persecution, North Korea, they do a search and then they are brought, your profile becomes one of the profiles, unless you're set to private. Your profile becomes one of the profiles that they see share a similar interest. So, for instance, if you have audio Bibles, hologram Bibles, you want to work with people in getting the gospel into Bhutan, you can put in hashtags that will make you searchable in the Dingdash sphere. And then anytime you would put in a ding and update your dings, then you could put hashtag according to that subject, Bhutan. And then anybody that did a search would find all these different things that you have already written about Bhutan, and then they could reach out to you, connect, and bam, you got new friends, right? Preferences. This is important for some people that may not like, the dark theme. Now, I go with the dark theme, but let's say that I like it more light. I just choose in preferences to make it light, and bam, I've just transformed the look, the appearance of Dingdash. And there are other things that you have in here as well that are important. If you go to other will show the different languages that you can filter. So let's say that English is not your primary language. Whenever you sign on in China, the system automatically goes to Chinese. If you sign in Turkey, the language automatically goes to Turkish. Maybe English is your main language and you live in Turkey. Here you can filter the languages, even though you're in Turkey and most of your settings might be in Turkish, you can put English as one of the languages that you would like to filter for your purposes. If you go down here to account is where you make a lot of your changes. So if you want to change your password, and this will tell you where you have actually signed on your latest activity. You can set up it to be secure, where you have a two-factor authentication process. And also, if you want to bring more people on, I highly recommend, obviously, I highly recommend that you invite more people to come on. But one of the main reasons why is because there are so many people that say, hey, I like Dingdash. I would like to be on Dingdash. But here's the truth. Most of my friends and family members and all the people that I go to church with or school with or work with, they're all on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Well, here you can actually create a invitation. So here, you can have it one use, 5 uses, whatever. I always keep it at no limit, and it expires. You can put an expiration. I'm just going to say never, and then you hit generate. When you hit generate, what happens is that it generates an invite, and you can just hit the copy. Bam! Now you have an invite that you can put in your email to invite all of your friends and family members to come and join you on Dingdash. You can use Messenger, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. You can use, obviously, your email just to invite people to come and join you. Now, there's other features on here as well that I hope to get into at a later time. But for right now, this is a basic introduction to Dingdash. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video, and I pray that Dingdash becomes as much of a blessing for you as it has for me. And continue to pray for us because, groups like Facebook have over 48,000 full-time employees. 48,000. Right now, I'm writing, or I'm doing this live update from an area where the closest town has 93 people. So 48,000 people are full time with um, Facebook. And with Dingdash, we only have volunteers. Volunteers that believe in what God is doing. And we believe that God is preparing us to walk together with the church for those days ahead where it might be a lot more restrictive, even more than it is today, on traditional social media sites. Now, I have used other alternative social media sites. I just went to one not too long ago and found that it was a lot more complicated, I feel, than what this is. Dingdash is made by individuals that are believers for individuals that are believers. And it's all done for free. And we need your prayers. So remember us in your prayers, and we will continue working on providing you the best service humanly possible. I pray that this video was a help for you. Thank you so much, and God bless.